The NFL draft is officially in the books, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of dreams were made, and we have some new faces for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, sir. We have a lot of new faces in the black and gold, man. A lot of new names to definitely get used to, especially very early, man. It was a very exhausting 3 days. The day one, we streamed live. Wanted to give a huge shout out to Discord chat. It took forever. They took forever with everything.
Yep.
Day two went a little quicker, but 2 rounds, of course, that took up 5 hours of our night. We did a live stream with Steel Jedi, Steel Main. Huge shout out to those two. Steel Forever, a few guys from the Discord chat, of course. So that was a great, live stream that we did. It was very fun. And it was also very exhausting because at the point, you get excited at the beginning, but at the end, it's like, just hurry up, finish it. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Exactly. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm actually kind of tired right now making this video.
Yeah.
But gotta get it out the way.
And the same story was with day 3, of course. The Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 draft class is in the books. The draft class overall is in the books, man. And we're going to go over it right here, right now. We're just going to get right into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 NFL draft class. With the 18th pick in the 2020 NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Minkah Fitzpatrick, defensive back out of Alabama. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely adore this pick.
Oh, it's a fantastic pick, dude.
I don't know about you guys, but I think this guy's going to make an immediate impact, man. I just have this feeling, man. I think this dude's going to be an absolute stud. The fact that he lasted 18, I think that's a steal. People are saying that it was a reach, that we were foolish to draft him.
Yeah, and I don't know why those people would say that. Minkah Fitzpatrick has all the tools to be a dynamic defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have to agree with you. I think he could be an immediate starter and make immediate plays for this defense.
Absolutely, man. It was someone we seriously needed. It fills a hole desperately, and man, I'm just excited to see him on the field, man. I think this guy's going to be one of the absolute legends in the black and gold, man, when it's all said and done, and he's still really young in his game, and still has a lot to learn, which is scary to think about because he's already such a stud. And man, there's people saying he could be our next Troy Polamalu. That might be a little too high on the guy, but the talent is there.
He is there, and he can truly be one of the faces for this already good Steelers defense.
Yes. All right, enough of the bullshit. Bob, I'll just give you the floor.
Thank you, Miami. Forever and ever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we actually have an applause sound effect here for the Miami Dolphins?
Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. They got Austin Jackson with the pick. Good for them. I think they had a really solid draft. They could take that division, but who really knows? That's another story. But
Minkah Fitzpatrick is Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Once again, and forever and ever.
All right, but seriously, let's get into the real draft, of course. With the 49th pick in the 2020 NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Chase Claypool, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Okay, this was interesting because there was a lot of Steelers fans that absolutely adored and wanted J.K. Dobbins.
In which he was on the board. He was on the board at the number 49 selection.
If you guys seen our reaction with Steel Jedi, Steel Main, some of the guys from the Discord chat, and Steel Forever, again, huge shout out to those guys. You guys know that we were kind of disappointed. I know Steel Jedi was really happy about the selection.
Oh, he was
and he's a Buckeyes
excited.
fan, man, so of course he would have taken JK. But us and Steel Maiden were in the same boat because we were all disappointed because we all wanted JK. We both wanted JK. We all did, to be real with you, but Chase Young is a great selection nonetheless. We're not hating on the pick whatsoever. We are disappointed that we missed out on JK, but we later found out that today there was a reason why they passed on JK, and we'll get into that later. But we got Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool is a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Someone that was sliding under the radar, that was completely forgotten in this stacked wide receiver class this year, and we got him. We got Chase Claypool, a 6'4", 238 wide receiver who ran a 4.42 for his size, which is scary in itself.
Absolutely. He has measurables and athleticism that Big Ben has already fell in love with. There was reports that he called him immediately after the Steelers selected him. And then Juju called him after Ben called him. So you can already see that chemistry is getting going, which is exciting to think about. You add this tall, physical, explosive target who, yes, he does struggle to create separation, but, Ben throws it up. He already has the size advantage to get that ball, man, and he's physical at the point of attack. So I love this pick, absolutely. This is an absolute phenomenal pick. Wide receiver was a serious need. Chase Claypool is someone that, like I said, Ben's going to immediately fall in love with, someone that Ben's going to immediately test like he did Martavis Bryant when he was a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yep.
I love this pick, absolutely.
Fantastic pick. A guy with great size that Ben desperately loves and desperately needs on this offense. He's a guy that we don't have at the wide receiver group on this team, that size.
We don't have the height. We don't have the speed, absolutely. So that right there fills those two gaps, but we also needed wide receiver depth and someone to make an immediate impact.
Exactly.
That is Chase Claypool, man.
And let's not forget his red zone threat ability.
Yes.
Because the past 2 years, we have been god-awful at trying to get into the end zone.
I believe in 2018 we were first. Last year we were 32nd. So not only do you add Claypool, don't forget Ebron. Those are two tall, great red zone targets that Ben will immediately, target and test out. So that right there helps that aspect.
It does.
And another great thing about him is, the Steelers are Tomlin and Colbert have said that they are interested in using the rushing game. Now, J.K. Dobbins would have been great for that, but we would later find out why they didn't take him. Again, we'll get into that. And Claypool adds to that. He loves to block. He is physical. And if you want, you could put him at tight end. He could be a hybrid tight end. You could put him outside. You could put him in the slot. Or you could put Juju in the slot, put him and Johnson outside. There's so many ways that you could play Claypool on the field. You could be so creative and innovative with not only Claypool, but so many other receivers we have.
Absolutely.
It's exciting to think about. You run those 4 wide receiver sets. You got Juju and Johnson outside, or Juju and Johnson in the slot. And then you have Claypool and Watson outside. Jesus Christ. And then you have a wide receiver in the middle.
Good luck defending that, man.
Seriously, man.
Again, with the addition of Ebron right there. Goddamn.
Yeah. This was a pick that we were a little questionable on. Believe me, we love Claypool. We're not denying how great he is.
It's just the fact that J.K. Dobbins was there, and if you look at it, not wide receiver, running back was more of a serious need than wide receiver, but I can understand why the Steelers selected Claypool. Because if you look at the receivers that were being selected after our 49th pick, they were dropping like flies.
They were.
They were being selected, and there was possibly no way that a playmaker like Chase Claypool was going to be there.
No.
I mean, we could have gotten maybe a Tyler Johnson or a Antonio Gandy-Golden, but a guy like Chase Claypool is a very, very rare type of talent,
right?
Type of receiver.
And he already adds stuff Ben loves and is immediately going to fall in love with. And again, like I said, test. So this is a great overall pick.
It is.
Like I said, J.K. Dobbins might have, been the more desired pick there, but we're not hating on the pick whatsoever. Chase Claypool was a phenomenal fucking selection. I'm excited to see him in the black and gold, man. We both are. I think a lot of Steelers Nation is, man.
Yeah, with his versatility, his upside, his talent, and with how we develop wide receivers, this guy's going to be a stud in the making.
And you just got to trust Colbert. You got to trust the process. And we would eventually see what they would do in the following picks to I would say, fill in for missing out on JK. Although it still may be questionable to a lot of fans, we kind of fixed that a little bit to still help the rushing game, even though we didn't get JK, which we'll get into later. Now at the 102nd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Alex Highsmith, edge out of Charlotte.
I like this pick a lot. I think it's a huge sleeper pick and a guy that we could be grooming for the future.
Yes.
With Bud Dupree's current situation.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something that a lot of people aren't thinking about is, of course, Bud Dupree. He's on the franchise tag. He has officially signed it. He is guaranteed to get all his income. He is going to be playing. If he signed it this early, he's clearly going to be paying.
Yep.
Playing. The Steelers have until, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, July 15th to get a long-term extension going. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening ever. That's why we drafted Alex Highsmith. Not only is he special teams, which the Steelers are clearly thinking of with, the addition of not only Derek Watt, but of course Highsmith and a few guys we drafted later in this draft class. They're looking at special teams to get his feet wet, but he's going to be mentored behind Watt and Dupree and eventually could take over that Dupree role.
Exactly.
Because the way I see it, I don't think we're going to sign a long-term deal with Dupree ever. What I think they're doing is they're keeping Watt and Dupree intact. They're keeping the defense intact as much as possible, of course, because this is our best chance to win right now. Yeah, with a returning Big Ben, and you get Chase Claypool, a great weapon for Ben, because they're clearly all in on Ben.
Yeah, we're in a win-now situation. As long as everybody can do what they can on the field and stay healthy, we can be a legit threat in this league.
Absolutely. So you place the tag on Dupree, keep that defense attack as much as possible, keep that Dupree and Watt connection and chemistry and dominance, and then a returning Big Ben, like I said, with Claypool and already guys that we selected later on in this draft, and as well guys we picked up in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
This is our best chance to win.
Right.
But we also...
That's all wishful thinking and everything, but it's still very, very possible.
Right, and very factual. But we still have T.J. Watt to
exactly
resign.
Now, Bud Dupree, yes, he had his most productive year. He broke out last year, but that's the thing about him. In 5 years he was with us, he only had one productive year. That was last year, and I give him props for stepping up big time.
But that does not constitute to a long-term deal.
Even if he does have another breakout year this year, I still think we should not overpay this guy. We should not extend him because there are guys like Juju we could extend, Connor potentially if he can stay healthy.
Although I doubt it, but
get back
still.
To his Pro Bowl levels, but right. But
we have
anything can happen.
Hilton, we got Sutton, of course T.J. Watt. We're gonna break the bank with T.J. Watt. Fully deserved.
So why
Dupree is not fully deserved.
So if you give Dupree all this money, then you're going to leave Juju and Watt and everybody else.
Although we're going to have a great deal of cap that could still, hurt one of our big value players like Juju or like Hilton or Sutton.
So even if Dupree has a great year, great. Thanks a lot, Dupree. But
I'll give him props for stepping up, yeah.
Of course, but I think we should let him walk after this year.
So
this is why we got Alex Highsmith out of Charlotte.
Absolutely. It not only helps special teams, but I think and I do believe this is Bud Dupree's replacement for the future because, again, they're trying to keep the defense intact as much as possible before Ben goes out, and then Highsmith comes in, takes over that Dupree role. And with T.J. Watt taking double teams, Highsmith is going to feed off of it.
Exactly.
I think that's why, not taking anything away from Dupree, I think that's why Dupree had a great season as well, though, is because T.J. Watt, was blocked. Or was double teamed.
Right.
Double, triple team.
T.J. Watt had a lot of help with Dupree's play style.
Yeah.
With how he played.
He did. And that could be the same with Highsmith. That's how great T.J. Watt is. And again, we're going to break the bank with him. We don't need to break the bank with Dupree first. Because whatever he's worth, T.J. Watt is worth much more.
Absolutely.
Clearly.
Absolutely. And Highsmith has a lot of upside and a lot of talent.
Yeah, he does, man. He's very underrated. I think he's going to be a great special teamer. He's definitely an upgrade over Anthony Chickillo.
Oh, without 1,000 times better.
People call him the speed demon. He has a great arch under the edge, man. And he has a nose for the football.
He really does.
I really like this, man. This is a guy that the Steelers were clearly interested in. They selected, and I like it. And we needed outside linebacker depth because we have Ola and Skipper, but they're still young. And, Ola also can't stay healthy.
And somewhat unproven. I mean, so is Highsmith, but Highsmith probably has more upside than Skipper and Adaney. So we get more depth at edge. And just like at wide receiver, in my honest opinion, linebacker is also a position that Steelers are good at developing.
Absolutely. I mean, we could sit here all day, all night, and tell you the number of linebackers they've developed.
Exactly.
That's great.
So Highsmith could be another one of them down the road.
Absolutely. Possibly Bud Dupree's replacement. That's what I'm going with. But, of course, initially, depth and, of course, special teams, which is great to look at.
Exactly.
With the 124th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Anthony McFarland, running back out of Maryland. Okay, now this was a little confusing. This was a head-scratcher, and we're not going to lie. At the start of it, when it was first announced, we didn't like it.
No, we thought that it was somewhat of a wasted pick. We felt like if you weren't going to get a guy like J.K., who was there at number 2, at the number 49 pick, then why would you somewhat waste a pick at a guy that's probably not even going to be a featured back in this league?
Right. Or trade this pick that you drafted McFarland with and trade it for Fournette, which many people are saying we should trade for Fournette, which that's clearly
not going to happen.
That door is shut now with the McFarland. My issue with this is I think we already have an Anthony McFarland on our team. His name is Kareth White. And the very limited amount of time he played last year, he showed a lot of promise. And he didn't play much. He was one of the dudes that was getting buried. And, didn't get a lot of playing time like he should have with the injuries at running back.
Exactly. With how bad our offense was last year, he was one of the diamond in the roughs that literally sparked this offense.
Yes.
A spark that the offense desperately needed.
Yeah.
Karif White made those plays. And it's unfortunate that he did not get a lot more playing time because I felt like he was making plays that we desperately needed, that were happening, and that could have happened for a good bit for the Steelers offense.
Absolutely, man. That's why I just thought that we already had a McFarland and Karif White because he has similar speed, maybe not as fast, but he does have speed. He has that big playability that McFarland does have. So I just thought, it's kind of wasted, and, it doesn't matter to go running back at this point because not only did you skip on JK, but you might as well have faith and trust Snell if Connor gets hurt.
Yeah.
And give White an opportunity.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was our initial thought. If you were going to get a running back, why don't you go JK at 49? You could still get Highsmith at 102, and at this 124th pick, you could have gone Tyler Johnson, Antonio Genigo, and
or Kevon Wallace, who a lot of Steelers fans wanted, man. And the
Exactly.
Steelers were at Clemson's Pro Day, the only Pro Day they were able to attend.
Exactly.
And we needed safety depth. We did not address safety. We actually went running back. And the reason why we addressed the running back now and not at 49 and why we passed on J.K. Dobbins is because the Steelers' new quarterback coach, Matt Canada, was Maryland's offensive coordinator before coming to Pittsburgh. However, another reason why they might have passed on J.K. is because when they scouted and eventually drafted Derwin Gray, who was an offensive tackle out of Maryland last year, they drafted him in the 7th, they were clearly looking at Anthony McFarland.
Yep.
Which thus led us to landing him here at 124. That's probably why we did not select J.K. and why we passed on him for Chase Claypool. And for that reason, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, at first we weren't all in with the pick, but we're starting to grow on it. And the more we thought about it, the more this pick could very well help us down the road.
Absolutely. And he is a great complement to Snell and Connor's rushing style, which is, again, why I think we already have that in White. I think he is not getting the opportunity he should get. He didn't get it last year, and it seems like he's not getting it this year because of McFarland.
Right.
However,
which is unfortunate.
However, I'm not saying I don't like McFarland. He has great speed, big playability. He has also receiving ability, and he can, too, play special teams to help that.
And I feel like if you're going to use McFarland at first, it's special teams. Our special teams has been god-awful for the past 5 years to up a decade about.
Pretty much.
And we don't really have a great special team outside of Johnson, but you don't want to put him there and risk injury upon him.
Yeah.
So you want to put a guy like McFarland, who's a rookie, who could get his feet wet in special teams. And if he can bring a lot of more tools and more play style to his run style ability, then maybe he could be something.
Possibly so.
But I think special teams would be a great start for McFarland.
Right, and I do think he will mix it in with the 3 guys. What does this mean for Jalen Samuels? No idea. We were saying on Twitter we should trade him. I don't know about you guys. Samuel sucks. He is nothing but a receiving back. He only had 1 good game, which was against the goddamn Patriots, and that's it.
Yeah,
and I gotta say that's a good game for him to produce in.
Well, of course, but ever since that, he never was consistent. He never lived up to that, and he hasn't really, especially with the injuries at running back last year, he never stepped up.
No, he has no burst, no explosiveness, no vision. So I don't know what happens to Jalen Samuels. Maybe he gets traded. Maybe he makes the roster as the 4th running back. I don't know. Maybe McFarland's on the 4th or the 4th running back on the depth chart and then climbs the way up. I don't know. But this McFarland drafting would make a ton more sense with this news, with the next selection, which was 11 picks after the 124th. And with the 135th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Kevin Dotson, guard out of Louisiana. This is definitely, without a doubt, my favorite selection in this entire draft class.
And possibly the steal of the draft.
Absolutely. And over Chase Claypool.
Kevin Dotson is a big molar. He is a big dude on the offensive line. He is a great run stuffer, or great run blocker, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good pass blocker, and you give this guy some development, this guy's going to be a stud on this offensive line.
Absolutely.
This guy's a stud. This guy's a beast. This guy's going to be an absolute steal for the Steelers team.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that.
And like he said, could be the steal of the draft, and I too think that. This guy was being talked about to be one of the best offensive guards in the entire draft. It's criminal that he wasn't invited to the combine.
And I feel like if he was, he probably would have gone first or second round. I truly believe
Clearly.
that. But since he wasn't, no one really knew how he was.
Right.
But the Steelers, I'm sure, were looking very close at Dotson.
Yeah.
And thank God we landed him, because this guy, if he learns under Wisniewski, or if he even starts over Wisniewski,
Which could happen.
which I would not be surprised about, this guy is going to be fucking good.
This guy's already a great man. Like, and he's only gonna get better with development. You know, there's apparently I heard that at his pro day, according to Steel Jedi, again, huge shout to him. Apparently, at his pro day, he ran a 4.840. He's what 6'4", 313. He ran a 4.840, 34 bench reps on the bench press. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So for a guy his size, he's pretty quick and he's very strong. He had like 34 bench reps.
Yeah.
And that's what I fucking love. I love strong offensive linemen that maul the hell out of defensive linemen, man.
And again,
this guy's it.
Right. And again, according to Steel Jedi, apparently he squatted 835 and bench pressed 500 at one point. God damn, dude. This boy's strong.
This guy's a beast.
And this guy is mean, man. This guy, like you said, is a mauler. This guy is a big fucking bully. I cannot wait to see him create holes for the offensive line, destroy defensive linemen, man, especially on the AFC North. We all know we got rivals on there, Browns. So I can't wait to see him demolish some motherfuckers on the other teams. So I can't wait to see this guy. I would not be surprised if he's a day one starter. Whether we start him over Wisniewski at left guard, which we could be seeing a competition battle between Wisniewski and Dotson, which I think would be great. Maybe we keep Feeler at right tackle and not left guard. And then maybe we move Chuck Secor forward to left tackle and make him the backup to eventually take over Alejandro Villanueva's spot. And then we have Zach Banner as depth at right tackle. That's not bad.
You got a lot of options on the offensive line.
Yeah, and Wisniewski, if Dotson does start, in fact, Wisniewski would be the B.J. Finney backup.
And that's perfect. That is perfect. You got guys that are very dependable on this offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's damn good.
And again, this selection just makes Anthony McFarland and his selection, it makes it make more sense because we all know speed kills. So you put Dotson in there and him leading the way, and he creates a big-ass gap with Pouncey beside him, and you got David DeCastro on the other side. Jesus Christ. And then you have Anthony McFarland in the backfield and his speed and his big playability. We could be seeing some big-ass plays in the rushing game, man.
Absolutely.
And not only
some
him,
Willie Parker memories right there.
And not only him, but James Conner, maybe Benny Snell. I'm excited.
I'm
really excited. I love this pick. I think this is still with the draft. My favorite selection in this entire draft class.
Absolutely. And dating back to the running backs, you know Mike Tomlin has been saying he wants to run the ball more. And getting a guy like Kevin Dotson truly helps with that. You got a guy like McFarland and Connor if he can stay healthy, and Snell. God damn.
Yeah, we could be seeing a really exciting offense, man. I'm really excited for this. And Dotson is just, again, offensive linemen are not the prettiest, but they are the smartest because they are the core of that offense.
In my opinion, the offensive line is the heartbeat of an offense.
Yeah, because if you have no line, you clearly have no production.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, right. But Kevin Dotson, man, a phenomenal selection, man. I'm excited to see what he can do in the black and gold, man. And fun fact, he's a Steelers fan. His family is a Steelers fan. He has a Steelers man cave at his house. So this makes that pick so much better.
So much sweeter.
Yeah, so we're rooting for the guy, man. We're excited to see him go in the black and gold. A big mauler, big boy, big bully. Can't wait to see him in the black and gold, man, and create some gaps, man.
Absolutely. It shows everybody who the fuck they're fucking with.
Absolutely, man. Very underrated. Now, at the 198th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Antoine Brooks, safety out of Maryland. We double-dipped on Maryland. All I'm going to say is I hope that this guy is better than the other safety we drafted from Maryland a few years back.
Don't want to bring up any nightmares, but...
No, I don't. But
yeah,
I like Brooks. You know, this guy is the depth we needed at safety, but he can also be a hybrid. He could fill in that Mark Barron role. He can play in the box. He can play in the slot. Again, he's not necessarily the fastest guy, but, man, he's a better Mark Barron. He's a better tackler. He gets physical. He has better instincts, man, better ball skills. So I like Brooks a lot.
And the thing I love about Brooks is his hustle.
Yes.
I love his hustle, man.
Yeah, he does. Because one thing we clearly saw from Mark Barron is he has no care, no hustle. I mean, just look at that touchdown he allowed against the Browns.
Yeah, that's never going to
What the fuck was that? So
a guy like Brooks who cares, who has hustle, and a guy that you can use around the field, I like it. And it's safety depth, something we desperately needed. So I can't be upset about this pick. I'm not. I love Brooks. I think Brooks is somewhat underrated, has some upside to himself.
And is going to fill in that Mark Barron role nicely.
Yeah, he's a hybrid player that the Steelers have been looking for in free agency, but have not succeeded at it. So I was saying, why not go in the draft and find your guy? Brooks could be that guy.
Absolutely, man. So I'm excited to see what he can do beside Bush and with this defense, man. It's going to be fun to see.
Absolutely.
And with the 232nd pick, the final pick for the Steelers in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Carlos Davis, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. We finally went D tackle. It was our final selection in this draft, and we went D tackle. We lost Javon Hargrave to the Eagles. Good for him. Depending on who you talk to, that is a massive gap. In our final mock, we said that we weren't going to go D tackle. We were going to trust Bugs. And I think that's what the Steelers are doing, and they might have added Davis as not only as depth, but possible competition for Bugs to take over that D-tackle role.
Right.
So a 6th-rounder last year in Bugs and a 7th-rounder this year in Davis fighting for the D-tackle role. It may not sound like the prettiest, but both are very underrated, man. Now, the only thing about Davis is he's a little undersized, but you could say the same thing about Casey Hampton, Big Snack.
Yeah, he was only 6'1", but, man, was he a mauler for an offensive lineman.
Yeah. And the great thing about Davis is he ran a 4.82 and had, 27 bench press reps at the bench press at the combine. So that's pretty impressive. So he can fill in that gaps and definitely help in the rushing game.
Oh, yeah.
And add a little bit of pass rush possibly. So, but I think he's competition and potentially definitely depth, and potentially Daniel McCullers' replacement.
Yeah, but this defensive tackle position should be interesting, with guys like Tyson Alu, Carlos Davis, who we drafted, and Isaiah Buggs, plus maybe Chris Wormley if you want to try him there.
Yeah, so they can all possibly rotate. I don't know what they're exactly planning for D-tackle, but we have depth and guys that can definitely play.
And some guys with upside.
Absolutely. So we'll see. We'll see what they do, but it's pretty exciting. A lot of young blood in there. So
yeah,
that is the Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 NFL Draft class, man, and it is in the books. The 2020 NFL Draft is in the books. I've come to grow and love the draft a lot. It feels like Christmas to me.
It does. For sports fans, it really does.
Yeah, because when it comes up, you get excited, you get jittery, you can't fall asleep because you're so excited for the upcoming days.
Yeah, like who's going to be the next player for your favorite team and everything.
Absolutely.
It's so exciting.
And when it ends, you get, kind of heartbroken and down and kind of depressed.
Because after the draft, there's really nothing to talk about, no news besides OTAs, but with this current situation that the whole world is dealing with, we may not even have that.
No.
So
there's no other sports either.
Exactly. So it's kind of dying down right now, but nonetheless, the draft is in the books. We got some new Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, quick review and recap of the draft. In the first round, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Miami.
In the second round, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Chase Claypool. In the third round, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Alex Highsmith. In the fourth round, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Anthony McFarland and Kevin Dotson, which I think is going to help the offense dramatically. Mm-hmm. In the sixth round, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Antoine Brooks. And in the seventh round, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Carlos Davis. If I had to give it a grade, I'm going to go with an A-.
That is not a bad grade.
And I'm only doing that because I'm including Minkah. Without Minkah, I'm giving it a solid B+.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I would give it a B+. But this draft was very good. It's got a ton of players with a lot of upside, guys that could truly, if you really think about it, and very hopeful, could be the future of this team.
Absolutely, and can make immediate impacts at their respective spots. Alex Highsmith, special teams. Chase Claypool, receiver with Ben. Kevin Dotson, offensive line. Antoine Brooks, dime linebacker. Carlos Davis, special teams / potentially starter. So we filled in a lot of gaps, a lot of needs that we desperately needed. I'd say almost all the needs. So I think it was a great draft. I'm going to give it a B+.
Yeah, I have to agree.
So give us your guys' draft grade in the comments below on the Steelers, your guys' thoughts on each player and guys we potentially could have selected or missed out on. By the way, a few undrafted free agents. Now, this isn't official. This is what we've seen on Twitter and stuff that's been reported, not completely official by the Steelers, but apparently the Steelers have signed undrafted free agents such as Christian Montano, center out of Tulane, James Lockhart, offensive lineman out of Baylor.
Outside linebacker.
What'd I say?
Offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman. Outside linebacker, yeah.
We got Leo Lewis, inside linebacker out of Mississippi State.
However, I did hear he has off-field issues, so
and that's something that we don't really want. I don't think it's going to be anything. I think he could be a final cut, just a simple preseason player, training camp player, pretty much. But
camp body, yeah. Spencer Nye, fullback out of Auburn. James Pierre, cornerback out of Florida Atlantic. Calvin Taylor, defensive end out of Kentucky. Trajan Bandy, cornerback out of Miami. And John Houston, inside linebacker out of USC. So pretty interesting. Maybe some of these guys can make a name for themselves and make the 53. Or they could just be camp bodies. Not sure, man. But hoping the best for these guys and for everyone in the not only NFL draft, but of course the Pittsburgh Steelers draft class here. So give us your guys' thoughts down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. The 2020 NFL Draft and the Steelers 2020 NFL Draft is officially in the books. Excited to see what these guys can do. Excited to see what these guys can, what names they can make. And
what they can bring to the table for the Steelers team.
Absolutely. So give us your guys' thoughts down below. See you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later. Peace!